Hey, Monty, we're going live any second now. Who do you want to do a shout out to?
I'm doing a big shout out there, Michael, to Guardian Angel Rachel. She's the one who inspires me to write all this crazy business.
Love it. Guardian Angel Rachel, here we go. Hey guys, today we have a special guest on our show, Monty Ritchings. Monty is a writer and business owner of Life Force Creative Inc., based in Surrey, British Columbia. He's written books focused on providing information and tools to help people grow from the inside, and has developed a resource website for folks interested in or engaged in helping people through counseling or intuitive therapies and hypnotherapy. I'm excited about this, and I have questions for Monty. How are you doing today, Monty?
I'm doing great, Michael. I'm looking forward to your questions and a great conversation.
Let's talk about one of the things that you and I talked about in the green room-ish beforehand. And I just want to, one of the things I saw on your website was you talking about people reshaping their past to shape their future. And I want to know about that. And you told me to ask you about Destiny T also. I want to see how T comes into reshaping your past, comes into how you became like this awesome guy.
Well, I have to tell you about how this is book one of the Ascenders, Return to Grace here. I don't know if you can see that clear enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was in a coaching session with a friend of mine who's an intuitive business coach. And all of a sudden, I got this female voice in my head, and she was just going on. And oh, geez. And this is not uncommon for me. And so I got off the session I was with Cheryl Brewster, and I closed my eyes and I said, "What do you want?" And she says, "Get on your computer. You're going to write a book called The Ascenders Return to Grace." So I did. I slid over on the couch and I started writing. Now, I'm a pantser. There's two types of writers. J.K. Rowling, when she wrote the Harry Potter series, she had that whole thing organized right down to how many times Harry's going to go pee before she ever wrote the first word.
Okay.
I go the other way. I have no idea where this story is going to go. All I am is the typist. And so every time I'd get on the computer, I would do a chapter. And so into the story, the people are having struggles with trying to figure out how to move forward in their life, because, psychologists say that you create the belief systems that you operate your life on by the time you hit your 7th birthday. So from the time of when mom and dad had fun until you hit your 7th birthday, that's the time when you develop your belief systems. And most people don't understand that your belief systems are not hardwired; they're habitual.
Okay.
And so it was important in the story because we've created this new species of human beings. And I hope I'm not stealing your thunder on this, but they're
I'm just listening. I'm enthralled.
They're called Homo integratus. So we as Homo sapiens, we have boy ones and girl ones. Well, the Homo integratus are fully integrated male females, and they can switch between being male and female as needed, because males and females have very different traits. Their capacities are different. For example, nurturing is a female energy. So when a man is being nurturing, he's using his female side to do that. Mm-hmm. And the same as when a woman is being directive and active towards doing something, she's using her male side. So we ran into a problem that as the story is developing, not a real problem, but it's part of the way the story evolved, was we needed these people to be able to change their future. And so what Guardian Angel Rachel gave me was Destiny T. So what they would do is they get the person to sit down and then give them some real nice hot buns with strawberry jam and butter, get the salivary glands just to happen in there, and she'd give them Destiny Tea to drink with it. Well, the Destiny Tea, what it would do is it would put them into a meditative state, and it would cause them in their mind to project forward to a future lifetime. And they would meet themselves in that lifetime, and the person that they would meet there would point to them and say, "Turn around." So now, because they're in the future, they're now looking back at their future.
Okay.
And so they can look at, by looking back, they can say, okay, this is the path that you could take, or this is the path you can take. It's up to you which one you want to take, and how you change it is by changing your beliefs.
That is very interesting. I love that. And like it's almost like looking at the Akashic record and being able to see.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah.
so when you talk to or Rachel, or when Rachel talks to you, do
Yeah.
you literally hear Rachel in your head, like talking to you?
Oh yeah, yeah. She sits there, and I just, and I'm typing away, and she'd give me the story.
So when you wrote the book, you were channeling Rachel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is
Yeah.
it something that you can do like all the time? You can just channel Rachel, or does it have to be in a certain time of day, state of mind? How is it working?
No, like I can feel her right now. That she's sitting with me right now, and I can feel it in my body when she's there. And I can. There's a certain. It's a feeling in my head. It's almost like a feeling of exaltation. Very excited. I can feel my energy get much bigger when she's there. And then she'll just sit and start talking to me. She's not talking to me right now. She just, or at least I'm not listening. She is. That's one of the things I'm working on. You know, I went to the audiologist, and he said your hearing is perfect. Your listening is the shit.
So what was it like the first time that Rachel actually talked to you? I mean, like all of a sudden, were you like, "Whoa, what was that?" Or
well, the first book that I wrote is called Embracing the Blend. It's a nonfiction book, and all my books are related. They're all on the same theme, but some are fiction and some are nonfiction. So I wrote that book first in 2007, and Rachel dictated it to me.
so what's when you first heard the voice? Were you scared? Not scared? Did you just really?
No, I have been consciously, and I'm very rare for a male, and it's still very true that most of the classes I take, I'm often one of maybe three guys. If there's even the other two show up, I'm often the only guy that's in the class, and I'm used to it. So I took my first metaphysical course. Now I'm 71 years old. I took that course in 1970, I think it was. So that's like 53 years ago.
Wow.
And I've been doing them ever since. I have certifications in about 4 or 5 different types of intuitive healing programs and stuff. And I channel different. I've invented through the channeling process a number of different healing processes that I could do. Like I have a background in driving tractor trailers, and I flipped a tractor trailer over in 1996, and I broke 6 ribs in my back. And my friend who lives in Las Vegas came to work on me in the hospital in Westminster BC while I was laying in the emergency ward. And my friend who was sitting with me happened to be a psychic as well. And she's going, "Monty, who's the lady in the black dress that's rubbing your back?" And I said, "Oh, that's Fawn. Oh, she came to visit." Yeah, and so, you know, we have these different experiences that happen, and you sort of get used to it after a while.
I guess so. I mean, one of my goals, I guess it's an unstated goal, is to be able to move forward. I believe, like I want to believe. But I haven't had the experiences, at least not as profoundly as you have, to be able to reach out and be able to talk to someone directly. I think that's absolutely fascinating.
Well, I'm looking at your energy right now, and what I'm getting is if you opened your crown chakra up, well, which is right here, and the way you do it is you can do this. Take your right hand and make your fingers like this, and pretend you got a little piece of yarn in here.
Yarn?
Yarn, yeah, like wool. Okay, and go very slowly clockwise around the top of your head.
Clockwise.
You can't do it wrong. Don't worry about it. Just do it. Okay, and after you've done it 4 or 5 times, take the end of the yarn and go boop like this. And what you're doing is you're connecting you're connecting to the star chakra, which is the main chakra for the connection to source in the upper part of your body or above your body. And so now you're connected into your crown chakra. Yeah, now your crown chakra is open. So now what you can do is just sit quietly and ask somebody to come and talk to you.
Except I got to talk to you right now, so we'll do that a little later.
Okay. You can do it another time. Now, it's really important when you do this, and anybody that does this because when they're watching this show is you ask them their name, and they must give you a name, otherwise get them out of there.
Okay. And then once they give you a name, then what
You're good to
happens?
go. You just talk to them.
Okay.
We all have guardian angel. Rachel happens to be my guardian angel, and so we have conversations. I have this little place I go to in my head. It's a visualization. I have about 6, 8. I don't know, I can't lost count now how many different guides I've got, and I work with Archangel Michael and I work. I'll get really in trouble for this one. I work with Jesus. They all go on because they need people to help them because they're not in the physical form. And they could be if they wanted to, but they need us to work with them because we work on the vibration of being incarnate as human beings. And so it's more realistic when a physically incarnated person can do stuff that people can say, oh, I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of getting past your beliefs about this, and it's the reason why I write this stuff and I'm putting it out there is because we are moving into the age of Aquarius, and so we're in what's called a cusp. So I don't know how much you know about astrology, but in the bigger picture of it, the history of mankind that we know about, we've gone through 2 ages. An age is about 2,000 years. Okay. So prior to Jesus's birth was the age of Aries. And it was the time of where we organized society, and it was all about bureaucracy. You'd think that we're living today. And at the end of the Old Testament, there's something in there. There's one, I don't know where it is in there, but it says Abraham killed the ram. The ram is symbolic of Aries, which was the age of Aries before Jesus was born. Now, there's a period of about 350 years that is a cusp. So it's not a separate time, but it's part of the age of Aries and it's a part of the age of Pisces, which is what we moved into. So what happened during that time is Jesus was born, and he was born about 50 years into the cusp because he came to do the job of helping people to understand the change of consciousness that needed to be done to move into the age of Pisces. Now, interestingly enough, the Bible was first released about 300 AD, which is the end of the cusp. And so now we move fully into Pisces. Now, the same thing is happening now because we're now at the end of Pisces and we're moving into Aquarius. And you want to know something really cool?
Yes.
You remember this. 1967, a band called the Fifth Dimension.
They do it with the age of Aquarius.
Exactly, and that's when we moved into the cusp.
So, like, I've got so many questions coming up in my head now, and about the whole age of Aquarius and about everything. Now, from your point of view, we've got people talking about different religions, right? We've got the Christians, the Buddhists, the Muslims, the whoever they are out there. Do you see them all overlapping, or do you see some people going the wrong way? How does it all work based on what your philosophy is?
My understanding is, and this is where I think people really need to come to a clearer understanding about this, religion and spirituality are not separate from each other. Religion is a path to spirituality. Religion and spirituality are not the same thing. And what I see happening out here, and it's very prevalent in society today, is that people are looking at the religions and they're saying, you've been running my life for a long time and telling me some stories that may not quite be true. Mm-hmm. They got a little bit of a slant to them. I want to know the truth. And there are very spiritual people in religions, and they may have used that path to get there. And I'm sorry to the religionists, but there are so many stories that they tell us. Do you know why this is the story I heard? I can't validate this. Do you know why the Catholics eat fish on Friday?
No.
Because the Pope was buddy with all the fishermen in Italy, and they were pissed off nobody was eating fish. So he said, I can fix that.
Eat fish on Friday.
Eat fish on Friday. And you go to any restaurant in the world, or the Western world anyway, today, and on Friday they're going to serve you clam chowder.
Yeah.
And it's all because of some Pope way back, 1,500 years ago, because his buddies were fishermen. And so
Okay.
the big things, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to knock religion, because I have some friends that are very religious, and it really helps them in their life. But as we move into the age of Aquarius, we are moving to a new consciousness, and that consciousness says we need to be more responsible for ourselves, and we need to be more aware of ourselves, and we need to get rid of the limitations that are stopping us from being this way. And so we need to question. And this doesn't just go for religion. It goes for government, and it goes for big bureaucracies and stuff as well. So in the Bible, again, I'm not a intellectual person on the Bible, any of that sort of stuff, but it talks about in the Bible about the dark time that's coming. And that dark time that's coming is about the big bureaucracies and the big governments and so on that are determined to control the minds of the people. Is that evident today? Oh, you bet it is. And the way to move past this is for people have to come into their own light.
So what are the things that you from your point of view want people to learn and know and do and be aware of in this age of Aquarius then?
What I want people to know is that we need to understand where the information is coming from that we consider to be the truth.
Okay.
So we as human beings cannot comprehend truth. We don't have the ability to do that. We understand truth according to what we understand. And that's a big difference on there. And so where one person is in their personal evolution and what they've learned in this lifetime is going to provide them with the truth that they can understand. And when they choose to start becoming more aware that the stories they've been told are not necessarily true, but now they're going to be asking, well, what is the truth? So then they're going to start on the journey of finding out what is their truth. The truth that they need to understand is a truth that they can comprehend according to their new understanding. And that progression goes on. And that's what Jesus wants from us. And that's what the whole thing about Aquarius is learning to have a wider understanding of what consciousness is.
You know, it's interesting. I was talking to someone the other day about the quantum and about local, non-local reality and how we perceive things. And what you're saying kind of ties into what they were saying also. So you're on a spiritual level, then more on a scientific level, quantum level. And I'm finding from talking to people that things that are spiritual are overlapping things that are scientific quite a bit. What are you finding?
Yeah. Do you know what the word metaphysics, what the origin of it is?
What is the origin of metaphysics?
The word meta means beyond.
Okay, beyond physics.
So what metaphysics is, it's the stuff that the physics guys can't explain. But they're starting to now, because there, as you're saying, there's a very strong overlapping starting to happen. When we were kids, when we went to school, the root of everything was the atom. And then they discovered, well, the atom's made of something too. Oh, we're going to call those quirks and quarks. Well, guess what? Quirks and quarks are made of something too. It's called energy. Everything, and I mean everything that exists is composed of energy. And the difference between the energy of this and the energy of this is the vibrational frequency of it. A liver cannot become an eyeball because they're different vibratory frequencies. And everything that exists in the universe is energy. And that's what the universal consciousness is about, is understanding that relationship. When you burn a piece of wood by fire, it becomes carbon. The energy transitioned, it didn't disappear, it transitioned into another form. And it's the way everything works. And what we're being asked to do now is to understand that we need to embrace this consciousness, so that when we realize, when we throw that piece of plastic on the ground, we are impacting the energy of the earth. When we do something that's really mean to somebody else or to another animal or stuff like that, we're impacting the vibration of the universal consciousness. We know, and that's why I call my website Powerful You, Powerful Me. How I can help you to become more, let's try it again. How I can become more powerful is by helping you become more powerful without selling myself out.
I think that's awesome. Monty, I could talk to you, I'm pretty sure, for another 2 or 3 hours, days, and just listen to what you're saying. I love this. Um, there's something I've been doing on this show. And by the way, I love what you're saying. It ties into all the philosophies that I've been hearing on the show they're cohesive, and what you're saying ties in with everything else that I am understanding from a different viewpoint. I love that.
Right
Um,
on.
I want people. Two things. We're gonna do something fun. I want to play a game with you.
Okay.
Super easy. It's called This or That,
Oh, this
and
is
all you have to do is I'm gonna ask you a question, and you get to choose either A or B. You can't choose both, and you can't choose neither.
this
So,
sounds. But do you want A or B, or do you want this or that?
this or that.
Okay.
You have to say. Here, for example, I'm gonna say fiction or nonfiction. You choose one.
This
No, so fiction.
fiction. Yeah.
Okay. So what about meditation or visualization?
Visualization.
Mountains or beaches?
I live in British Columbia. I have to go with mountains.
Now I think I know the answer to this one. About walking or cycling?
Oh, walking by a long ways. I've done the Camino Frances in Spain twice. It's 500 miles.
Physical books or audiobooks?
Physical.
But by the way, are any of your books in audiobook format?
They're going to be in the next year. I tried to do them over the winter, and it turned out that my audio booth wasn't good enough, so I have to do them over.
Okay, I got you.
But I now have them all in physical. All 7 books are all in 7 or 8 somewhere in there. I've lost count of how many books I've got anymore. But they're all in paperback and ebook now. So the next step is to do the Audible.
Okay. How about early morning or late night writing?
Early mornings, absolutely.
Early morning. Mindfulness or gratitude practice?
I'm going to go with mindfulness.
Okay. What about modern or classic art?
I'd probably go with classic.
Okay. How about journaling or blogging?
Journaling.
Traditional publishing or self-publishing?
I'm going to have to go with self-publishing.
Okay. And last one, personal development workshops or online courses?
Well, personal development workshops for sure.
That's awesome.
Preferably live.
Say that again.
Preferably live.
Live is very good. I love what you were saying. I want other people to keep in touch with you. And some of the ways they can do that through your ascendersbooks.com. And then we've also got your Powerful You, Powerful Me. Definitely love that the picture that it gives me in my mind is, I think that's a great website name. Okay. And you're on Facebook at The Ascension Project. And you're also on Instagram at Monty Ritchings. Just Monty Ritchings.
I'm also on LinkedIn and Alignable as well. Both.
Okay. And is it all Monty Ritchings?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to leave this up here so they can see your books and know how to get in touch with you.
Absolutely.
And I want to just thank you for being on. This has been a fascinating conversation, and I love your insight. Thank you.
And thank you too.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.